Academia may not always be a straight path. People have to take breaks on health issues, emotional challenges, family emergencies, and others. For you, what would you say helped you still stay focused on what you wanted to do?
It took me about 7 months of chemotherapy and radiation. I had a lot of treatment-related complications. It's been a winding journey, interrupted by many things, but I've not let them put an end to my dreams and my trajectory in this long academic process.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Let's Talk. Joining us today is Dr. Kadambari Devarajan from India. She is an engineer turned ecologist, very passionate science communicator, and also actively involved with a number of science storytelling, advocacy, and outreach programs. She obtained her Ph.D. in the Organismic and Evolutionary Biology program from the University of Massachusetts Amherst and is currently a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Rhode Island. So today I am super glad that she's going to share her insights and journey in academia on this platform, and also the things that have kept her persistent. On that note, I would like to specially welcome Kadambari.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. I was so happy when you reached out to me, and I'm really happy to be here.
Great. Glad to have you here too. So to start with, could you tell us a little about your background coming from India and when your interest in science began?
I don't want to sound cliched, but I think I've always been interested in science from a very young age. By science, I mean like I've been always fascinated by animals and wildlife, and ever since I was a toddler, I've been told that my grandparents would take me out to the farmland nearby, and I'd be fascinated by ducks, like from the age of maybe 1.5 or 2. And so, and as I grew, my fascination with wildlife just increased, and I didn't know that I could like study wildlife and be an ecologist. I didn't know about the existence of the field of ecology. And so I did what a lot of my other peers in India were doing, which was to pursue one of the professional courses here, which is engineering, which is very popular. And so I was fairly good at math, and so I just drifted into computer science. I sort of gravitated subsequently after my undergraduate degree in computer science into ecology, and that's an interesting story as well. I was actually starting graduate school in the U.S. In computer science, and then I was spending a lot of time volunteering at an ecology professor's lab, and at that time he was working on a project involving cottontail rabbits and coyotes, and I was just like spending a lot of time trying to trap cottontail rabbits and like band them with GPS collars and and I just found the whole thing so fascinating that my partner was like, "Are you sure you want to be doing computer science? You seem way more interested with all of this." And so I took some time off to figure out what I really wanted to do. And then I was I got more and more interested in wildlife. And I realized after that experience that I could actually pursue wildlife biology full time. And so returned to India, got a master's degree in wildlife biology from here, and then joined UMass for my PhD.
When you finally ended up in a program that you so much had desired to do, almost all your life. A week before you were scheduled to leave for the field for your master's thesis in 2013, you talk about your experience of being diagnosed with cancer. Could you share with us how the news came about and what state it left you in that moment?
Sure, thank you for asking that question. And it was at some level it came out of the blue, but also in a different way. It sort of it was a relief to find out because I'd been struggling with bad health for over a year at that point, and I was part of a master's program in India, which was fantastic in terms of the field experience and the learning experience that it was. But it was also physically and intellectually very demanding. So while it was a big bolt from the blue to, confront this report that said I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a form of cancer, I was also relieved to have the diagnosis because it meant like having a name as to what was wrong with my health, like the problems I was facing. There was a definite medical diagnosis to it. So it was a bit of both. So I was also really anxious and worried about this new challenge, but also glad to find out that there's treatment available, that things can be done about it. So yeah, it was a mixed feeling.
So one thing that I feel aren't said a lot is that academia may not always be a straight path. People have to take breaks on health issues, emotional challenges, family emergencies, and others. For you, what would you say helped you still stay focused on what you wanted to do in terms of your studies, and also helped you get back on the academic goals you had set for yourself?
You're absolutely right that it's almost never a straight. There are very few people I know who've had like a really straightforward academic journey. There are always these anecdotes, maybe like it would be different from person to person, but they'd all have like some story, or everyone has issues that has sort of affected them at some point or the other. This program also it was a 2-year program. So this was an unusual program in that they take a cohort of about 15 students every other year, and the whole cohort moves together and graduates together. And so at the about a year and a half in, the final semester is when the field project happens, and when you come up with your thesis, when you do your thesis research. And so while the rest of the cohort was doing this, I had got this diagnosis. So there was definitely no chance I would be able to graduate with the rest of the cohort. But the institution and a lot of the faculty members and my mentors were very understanding and very supportive. But it did take me, it took me about 7 months of chemotherapy and radiation to finish the treatment. And it was, and at one point it was, I was in so much pain during my chemotherapy, like about halfway through, that I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to complete the treatment. It was just so painful for me. I had a lot of treatment related complications. I didn't even know whether I'd be able to complete the treatment, let alone go back and finish my field research. But knowing that it was there, that I still had that project, sort of helped me power through. And having very supportive caregivers, my partner was very encouraging, and my family was like giving me the encouragement and support to sort of propel me into pursuing my dreams. So for me, it was first I had like I mentioned, I went into computer science, and so I was not even in the field that I eventually came to realize was my field, was exactly what I wanted to do. It's been a winding journey, interrupted by many things, but I've not let them put an end to my dreams and my trajectory in this long academic process. So yeah, it is a winding, long-winded journey for many people, and the issues might be different, but I just hope that everyone is able to still keep their dreams on hold despite the issues and continue to pursue it after trying ways to navigate whatever barriers they may be having.
Wow. So I know the most important reason why you share your story is so that if there are other young ones there in similar situations, they would know that Kadambari was able to persist through the challenges. And so they can also be able to go through it and still achieve their dreams. What would you like to tell those people out there that probably are in the same situation now? What would you like to tell them to inspire them and also to keep them focused on the dreams that they had?
So I think I had a few different things that kept me going, and I think I'm just sharing those in the hope they might be helpful to others uh, who have similar or different problems, however they may be applicable. One was that I think representation matters a lot, and uh, I've had inspiring role models myself. For instance, my mother lost her father when she was 18, and so she had to drop out of college because her family couldn't afford to send her, and she needed to start earning to help educate her siblings. And so even though she really wanted to be a scientist, but unfortunately couldn't, so she managed to write an exam that got her a job at a bank as a clerk, or as something. At the age of 18, you can't like get like a management level position. So she started at one of the lower rungs of the bank job, but anything to put food on the table. But she was always into education, and so she after she got married and after she had me and my sister, she still continued to study, and she got her bachelor's and master's degree, and even finally managed to get an MBA through a distance learning program while she was still working, and had two kids. And so, which is what I meant by age is never a barrier for anything. And so she was like working full time and taking care of the family, and still found time to pursue her passions. And so that's just one example, and my grandmother is another example. So I've been surrounded by these strong female role models who I think given me the hope to just be persistent no matter what hurdles come your way. And the other thing I wanted to share is to try and find mentors from different fields, from different walks of life, and to never hesitate to reaching out to people asking for help. Like, unless you ask for help, people won't know. And it doesn't take away from any of your accomplishments. It doesn't take away from anything to ask for help. If it's inconveniencing someone else, they'll have their boundaries, and they will either suggest alternatives, or they will say no if it's up to them. But unless you ask for help, unless they know, they cannot help you. So it's always I always feel like, do not hesitate to ask for help, and surround yourself with mentors. so that you can get the support you want. And you can't, after the problem arises, it's hard to reach out to people. So it's always good to have like a supportive community that you can reach out to no matter what advice you might need. And different people are helpful in different ways. So I think it's important to not be anxious about asking people and talking to people. And as an introvert myself, who used to be very hesitant and very shy about talking to people, I think I've had to actively train myself to approach people and ask for help whenever it's necessary. And the final thing I wanted to share is that do not let the fear of rejection or fear of failure stop you from doing something. And I found this very helpful on many fronts. For example, through my graduate career, if I were applying for grants or submitting a paper, like rejection is part of the academic process. And the sooner we develop a thick skin, the easier it is for us. And if you do not apply, and if you let the fear of rejection or failure stop you, you will definitely not get it. So this is something one of my advisors told me was, unless you apply, you will not get the grant. So it's like, just because I'm worried that I will not get the grant, if I don't apply, then I will definitely not get the grant, right? So, and for papers, like if a manuscript gets rejected in one place, you just have to like shrug it off and take the feedback and comments into perspective, whatever reasonable comments are made. And if the feedback is genuine and it will help improve your writing or whatever else it is, that whatever output that you're providing, it's important to sort of just develop a thick skin, take whatever feedback is applicable, and then apply it elsewhere. So those are, I think, some of the things that have helped me sort of get through this academic life. But
Oh my God, yeah. All the points just hit me like 1, 2, 3. Great points. Thank you for sharing that. And they are all so true. One thing that I have personally come to understand is that you don't have to assume people know you are in need of something. It is always important to ask them. So, and the fear of rejection should not stop you. Beautiful. Just great points. To round up this section, I would like you to share with us some of the things you currently do. I know in the next session, we are going to talk about your research, but if you can tell us some of the things you do now, and also share with young ones some steps that have helped you in their journey, in your journey, to help them in their journey in pursuing a career in science.
Right. So I've always been someone who does a lot of different things. I need to be involved in many things in order to get any of them done, if that makes sense. So if some people are like super focused and they can like work on one thing at a time and they'll do it, and some people need the like impetus from doing different things and working with different groups and different projects and a diversity of things in order to get any of them done. So it's like always a mixture, and I'm kind of aware of what I need, like what I need to have so that I can get things done. And one of the things I've also found is about time management and how I need a routine, and I need to force myself to sit for 5 minutes and trick my mind into getting things done. So I know if I break any job into smaller chunks, that I can get more. Like I just need to sit for 5-10 minutes, trick my mind in order to like get a large, like once I sit for 10 minutes, I'd end up doing an hour of the work. But if I don't sit for, it's that initial, that inertia of sitting down that, that's a problem for me. So like
Yeah.
finding out what makes you tick and how to be productive is so important. And having said that, and more related to your question, so I need to be doing multiple things. So I love reading. I love I'm obsessed with food.
Oh
So
my
I'm
goodness. That's so good.
so it's like I'll if I'm and given that I fall sick a lot, I'm on like very bland food or diets often, that like hospital food or things like that. And I take photographs of like food that I eat almost every day, like pretty much every meal. That's like so I'll set it up. I do a whole ritual of it. And then when I'm not well and I'm like having really bland food, I'll like look at these photos, and it's a like different people have different things, and this is like whatever makes you feel better. So I grapple with or I dabble in a bunch of different things. So food is something I love eating out. I love eating at home. I'm like anything with respect to food. I love travel. So the same thing when I'm not able to travel, I look at photographs or read about other people's travel experiences, or just plan, just read up about a place, just find out more whether I go there or not, just to feel like I've traveled in that moment. I've traveled to that place, even though physically I'm still exactly where I am. And I love art. I love spending time with friends, watching movies. So like making time for yourself. And what the science that we do is just one aspect of our life. It can like it shouldn't be this like it doesn't make your identity. Like I am a scientist, but it's not the only thing I am. I'm so much more than that, right?
Yes.
So it's like I love reading. I love doing, and I like to do a little bit of everything every single day as much as I can, knowing that there are good days and bad days, and some days I'll be able to like be productive, get my work done, as well as spend time on myself, or there might be some fluctuation in the amount of each. But yeah, so I like when I was in Amherst, I really got interested in pottery and clay, and so I used to go for clay classes just as something that would keep me uh, like occupied, something tactile to.
Yeah.
As someone who also has PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, I find that having something to do with my hands is very calming and helpful for me. So things like that. And wherever I am, I try to do something else. During my master's, I started learning to play the piano, which was my secret that I didn't tell anybody. I would just disappear once a week that nobody knew about. So I would just like, it's just something you're doing for yourself. So it's different things. This is not to say I'm good at anything. Like I'm not a great pianist by any stretch of imagination, nor is like I wouldn't call my clay pieces that I've come up with artistic or anything, but just something that keeps me engaged and is a hobby that I like to develop for whatever duration of time. So different things basically.
Yeah.
I just whatever. I love playing games. I love birding. So wherever I am, I love to go birding. And if I'm unwell, if I'm completely bedridden, I used to do birding by year during my cancer, just listen to the bird calls and try and identify. And if I'm able to go out, I'll watch whatever watch here, just birding in general. Everything, whether stationary, walking from a patch, in an exotic location, in a national park, anywhere, from a bus stop. Yeah, so it's different things. So I have like having a rich, fulfilling life, in addition to the science we do, helps the science we do actually. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all these and also taking our time to come and just inspire the other young ones there and everyone that is going to watch and listen to this episode. So it has been a very touching session and inspiring to me, and I know to our viewers too. To our viewers, make sure you check out Kadambari's website to find out more about her research. We will take a break here, and in the next episode, she will talk to us about her research, which is going to be on biodiversity monitoring. So if you are familiar with that, or even if you are not, just hop on and let's learn this. Let's learn biodiversity monitoring together. Link is posted in bio. I am your host, Emelia. Let's enjoy science together.